Debate. The member for Thornhill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We live in a day and age where two incomes are no longer considered a luxury, but a necessity in order for many families to make ends meet. Each and every day, parents, especially those of children not yet old enough for school, are forced to make serious decisions about appropriate care for their children so they can go to work, to earn the money needed to ensure a roof over their families' heads and food on the dinner table. Some are blessed with friends or loved ones who can watch their kids during the workday, but many are not. Often a parent is forced to stay home due to a child's illness, thus missing a much-needed day's pay. Mr. Speaker, we've seen time and again how this government ignores the plight of ordinary Ontarians. They remain in a state of willful ignorance about the state of this province's economy, despite repeated warnings from respected economists. Yet as the McGuinty government keeps its collective head buried in the sand, the problems facing the parents of Ontario's children become more dire with each passing day. Rather than fostering an environment in Ontario that provides parents with a broad spectrum of choices for the care of their children, this government is steadfast in its belief that parents do not know what is best for their own children. When can we expect a modicum of individual respect and dignity? Indeed, Mr. Speaker, I believe that no one knows how to take care of a child better than a loving parent. Each of us here wants what is best for our children and our grandchildren. Many of us were inspired to become MPPs so we could make Ontario a little better for them. The people we represent are no different to any of us in this chamber. No parent wants to be told by a faceless government how to raise her or his children. No two families are alike. Each family exists with its own set of circumstances. Indeed, you cannot legislate a cookie-cutter approach to such an important issue as childcare. Mr. Speaker, it is our role as politicians to enable parents to make the best possible decisions for their families and to support the choices that each individual family makes. What works for a family in my riding of Thornhill may not work for a family in Thunder Bay. We must respect this fact. What we need in this province is a range of policies that respects the diversity of families and assists them in their quest to determine the best care for their children. What we don't need are policies, such as the one proposed today, that will unreasonably limit the choices available to responsible and caring parents. Parents aren't ignorant. Give them the right to choose. There are those in this chamber who think we should imitate the Quebec daycare model. Well, Mr. Speaker, let me share with you some thoughts from a report of the Institut économique de Montréal on the subject of Quebec's model. The report cites, and I quote, 2-year waiting lists, lack of parental choice, and a proliferation of daycare strikes as the main shortcomings in the Quebec system since its 1997 reform under a Parti Québécois administration. Access to a subsidized space depends neither on the parents' financial circumstances nor on the needs of children who may require special help. The only factor that now plays a role is the rank of a child on a waiting list. That is to say, bureaucratic convenience, end of quote. Mr. Speaker, do we really want this for Ontario's children? There's more in an editorial by the National Post's Norma Kojaya, and she writes, one of the few extensive studies on the quality of Quebec childcare facilities reported in 2005 that 61% had an overall quality rated as minimal with scores of 3 to 4.9 out of 7, while 12% were rated as inadequate and 27% as good. Government subsidy and regulation clearly does not ensure high quality. Some parents believe an institutional setting will assist their children with early learning and socialization skills. Others believe a child can best be looked after by a venerable member of the family. Still others believe it is best for one of the parents to remain home during those formative years. The decisions made are based on each family's individual circumstances. Shift work, commute times, childcare costs, these are all factors that impact parental decisions on childcare. Mr. Speaker, the best thing we can do as politicians is to broaden the range of safe childcare options available to parents, not presume that we know what's best for their children. The federal government provided a one-time sum of almost $300 million to Ontario for childcare. Whatever happened to that? Mr. Speaker, let me point to the Federal Universal Care Benefit Program. It is a new program that issues a $100 monthly payment to families for each child under the age of 6 to cover the cost of childcare. That way, families can decide what type of childcare is best. Mr. Speaker, That is choice. That is what I'm talking about. Giving parents the ability to decide what is best for their child. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.